Hello YouTube, this is Redhead Takes, back again with another video. Today we will be breaking down the upcoming game between the Green Bay Packers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A game that could very well be the last matchup between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady in the NFL. With the reports of Brady potentially retiring in the offseason, it's a very real possibility. So, as always, it's Redhead Takes. You know where to find my stuff. Twitter, Locals, Rumble, and Twitch, of course. Otherwise, let's just get into the video right away. So, originally when this game was first announced on the schedule, I believed that the Packers would outright lose. But since the Tampa Bay is dealing with a lot of injury issues, so is Green Bay, but it sounds like as of now, Godwin, Julio Jones, and for sure Mike Evans are not playing. Although I suppose it could still surprise with Godwin reaching through and playing, but I don't think so. I think the best chance of a receiver playing for Tampa is Julio Jones. But other than that, it sounds like Donovan Smith will be, or at least is practicing for Tampa, so that should be good for them. But their offensive line has been kind of a mixed bag this year after all the losses over the offseason. And it's led to Tom Brady not looking so good. He hasn't been able to stay up for too often. Yeah, I know they beat the Saints last week. I think that was more so they just found that fire side after Mike Evans was rightfully ejected. Though, to be honest, Marshawn Lattimore should not have been ejected because he did nothing wrong. He just got shoved to the ground and then got into it after that. He was not an instigator. But yeah, going to the Packers, Christian Watson, Sammy Watkins, and a couple others didn't practice on Thursday. I think most of them should still play this week, and that'll be huge. Packers definitely can't have a bunch of wide receivers missing on the game. I think when it comes down to the Packers' success in this game, it will depend on how many carries A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones get in this game. Earlier in the week, LaFleur said he wants to try and get each of them 15 carries, and that would definitely be a great start. Also for the Packers, their pass blocking, and especially, will have to get better. It's just been a real mixed bag. At times it looks really good, and at other times it just completely falls apart and turns into a turnstile. Hopefully Zach Tom gets a start. I don't know if he will, because that man is a beast, and he rightfully deserves to be on the starting offensive line. I think Packers are still a work in progress, as always, it seems. Still revving up for regular season play, since a lot of the starters didn't play in the preseason. This is basically the last preseason game for them, so hopefully this will be their best showing yet. I think they have a good chance of winning. But now to the matchups, specifically the quarterback matchups. Now we all know that Aaron Rodgers does not have a great track record against Tom Brady during his career. I think he's pulling a 1-3 record in favor of Brady, so it will be important for Rodgers to go at least out winning the last matchup and narrow that divide to 2-3. It would not be good for Rodgers to end his career 1-4 against Tom Brady. We'll see what happens. It all depends on whose wide receivers plays. Also, Packers defense will have to get better, because even though Leonard Fournette is dealing with an injury, he's the kind of running back that will eat that defensive line apart. And the Packers cannot afford to let him get going like they did David Montgomery last week. That would be a disaster. Plus, Tampa has the home field advantage, so that could definitely be in their favor as well. I'm still going to pick the Packers, even though we don't know who's playing yet. I just think Aaron Rodgers is getting going now, and Tom Brady is slowly falling apart. He's 45 years old. It's was bound for him to finally eat it and start to regress. Hopefully this game is another sign of that impending future. The Packers need to just be solid at all levels of the field. No easy runs for Tampa Bay, no gashing. Packers need to be able to throw the ball effectively and run the ball effectively against that really good Tampa Bay defense. They've probably the best run-stopping defense in the league, so it'll be very critical for the Packers to get going early and keep it running. LaFleur cannot go away like he has in the past few games. It needs to be consistent throughout the game, consistent running the ball from start to finish. No switching the game plan up unless for matchup purposes, because Tampa Bay is too good. Even with all the injuries and lots of players in the offseason, they're still way too good to just blindly go in and expect to not run the ball a lot. I know I'm not a coach. I haven't played football since I was in 6th grade, but still I've watched it enough to know how matchups work, and the defenses and offenses alike. Packers just can't afford to slow down at any point. Rodgers is going to have to be efficient, like he always is. I think the main factor, if the Packers are going to win, is to keep Rodgers upright. If Tampa Bay is allowed to sack him with impunity, it's going to be a long day. And the X factor is the Tampa Bay's defense, because other than Akeem Hicks, which is a loss for them on the defensive line, they're basically set in stone with the team or with the defense they started with at the beginning of the season. And the Packers' offensive line has been in flux and turning into a revolving door. Hopefully Bakhtiari is able to play. I have my doubts, but after earlier in the week, people talking about him potentially being done, past couple days in practice, he's looked pretty good. Definitely doesn't look like a offensive lineman that's on his last legs. And I look forward to seeing this matchup. I think in the end the score should be something like 24-21 in favor of the Packers. It's either going to come down to a last minute touchdown drive or Packers are going to hold on, I think. It's probably homerism, but I really think the Packers can win this game if they follow their game plan, which I guess is always hard for the Packers. Always seem to find something to mess up. Also, no mistakes on special teams, no bad penalties, which they have cut down on for the most part this year, but they've given up a couple of good kick returns this year, setting teams up for scoring drives. Pat O'Donnell's going to have to be great punting the ball, no bad punts, and Crosby will have to be reliable and no missed kicks. But I think in the end the Packers have a great chance to win this game. I know it'll be incumbent or dependent on how many receivers Tampa Bay has for the game. They'll still have 3 or 4 wide receivers, but who knows if it's going to be Scotty Miller, Brashad Perriman, and Russell Gage, or a mixture of that and potentially Chris Godwin or Julio Jones. But not Mike Evans. He is out for sure. And it's funny, all the conspiracy theory talking that John Runyon Sr. purposely continued the suspension of Mike Evans. Mike Evans was a thug in the last game. And for Bruce Arians should not have been on the field. I know there's reports that they weren't given a box by the Saints, but still, it clearly showed that he sicked Mike Evans on Marshawn Lattimore like a dog. And it really showed. It's not the first time he's been suspended after a Saints and Buccaneers game. But, again, final score, I'm thinking 24-21, something like that. Within 3 to 7 points. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to the end. And I think the Green Bay Packers will pull out the win. As always, if you're just happening upon this video, give it a like, subscribe, comment, and share it around. You know where to find me. I'll have my socials in the description, where if you disagree with any of my opinions, we can hammer it out there. Otherwise, have a great day. Go Pack Go, and God bless.